Hi there! Today I'm reviewing the LEGO Monkie Kid Dragon Palace of the EC. This set retails for $190 and comes with 2,364 pieces. Which, just look at the parts per piece ratio, is actually really good. Especially considering the amount of detail put into it and the fact that there are some really nice minifigures in here as well. Now, this set comes with 2,364 pieces with 8 minifigures for $190. Oh my god, LEGO Monkie Kid is the best theme ever. This set looks absolutely stunning. Like, the amount of detail put into it is absolutely insane. Now, this set is more of a Monkey King / Journey to the West set than an actual Monkie Kid set, but considering how big of a fan I am of the Journey to the West, I'm very happy they included some of the most memorable scenes from the story into here. Like when Monkey King borrow, comment if you get that cheeky reference, the staff from the Dragon Palace. Also, there's just an immaculate amount of detail put into it. Every place you look is just beautiful and filled with some detail. Like, this could have been a very boring set with some pretty bland details, but they more than clutched it. The fish are a really nice inclusion to this since it's supposed to be an underwater palace, and while something could be slightly better connected up, like some of the ones with the clips having a clip stand out way too much, it really does add to the overall aesthetic of the palace. It makes it feel a lot more lived into when it doesn't have any minifigures on it, which is how I display it, since I display all my minifigures on a giant wall, and it feels super cool. Also, I really like how they created the top of this by utilizing these absolutely beautiful curved slope pairs paired up with the non-curved versions, which looks really nice and super unique. And while I wish that this was used on some of the other sets as well, the same technique, I'm very happy we saw it here. Also, one of the major downsides of not just the Dragon Palace of the EC, but all of the major location-based sets, is that there are an absolutely obscene amount of stickers integrated in this set. Like, it's kind of crazy. This is definitely a big issue with the LEGO Monkie Kid location-based sets as a whole, and not really any other themes that I've encountered that have this problem. Like, I don't see something of 100 to 200 stickers in a less than $200 set, which Monkey Kid has. And that's way, way, way too many. But hey, at least it makes it look better, I guess. Although there aren't too many in this set as compared to other Monkey Kid sets like Megapolis, which had way too many. Although it is still pretty high. Also, I really like the inclusion of the dragon since, well, I'm assuming it's because it's the Dragon Palace of the EC. And even though there is another separate set for the dragon for this palace, they wanted to include a miniaturized one for probably the same reason that they include too many side builds. So everything is in one set for you to buy. Or because it looks really cool. I don't really know, to be entirely honest. It's kind of your choice. Although these two panels can open, actually making it feel really, really big and revealing this beautiful throne room, which actually looks really nice and has some really nice detail incorporated into it. The throne room, it looks especially nice with the pearl gold really standing out when compared to the transparent light blue. Additionally, looking at the overall color scheme, it looks pretty good. This set uses so many different shades of blue and many different colors as well, that at first it would feel chaotic, but since everything is so nicely designed and well integrated, it surprisingly doesn't, and the white really ties the entire build together. Obviously, one of the elements that really pop out is the giant staff. I actually really like how the staff looks, and while I have complaints with the gold ridges that are set up at the top, it could have been done way better, but it looks really nice and really pops out, especially when compared to the blue of the rest of the build. Now, one thing that is cool about the staff is that you can remove it and find a miniaturized staff in there for Monkey King to pick up, which is obviously a cheeky reference to when Monkey King took the staff and stole it, which is one of the divine nails holding the universe together. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's actually a really cool reference, and this is a very important place in Monkey King's story, so it had to kind of be in, because that's where he got his staff. Additionally, if you don't like how the staff looks, or you just want to grab the rockwork itself, you can very easily remove it, but it does feel a bit bland if you do. Also, there is somehow even more detail for the interior itself. I'm going to go from left to right and start off with this prison, which is a normal jail cell. Nothing super special, but it's super funny they can open up the big doors that reveal the prison, and you can close the doors, hiding the prisons, which is a super fun feature. Additionally, there's another room showing a little place for people to sit down and just be able to relax. Although there is way too many stickers here, but it is kind of necessary for all the details to really pop out and feel way more intricate. Additionally, I really like the inclusion of all the dragon hilt elements, since it really works nicely as sort of a lavish chair, and the fact that this is literally the Dragon Palace of the EC, which literally makes this the perfect piece. And honestly, genuine respect to the designers of this set for that idea. Like, that's the peak of nice parts usage. On the back of the throne room, there's an armory, which personally, I don't really like very much. It feels a bit plain, like the other room really nicely used up all of the space and added in so much details. But even something as simple as just a bit of tiling on the floor to really make it feel nice would be great. But it's not a terrible thing. It comes with some really nice chest pieces and the inclusion of these weapons, which is nice since some of the soldiers that came in the set can use them so kids can play with them. Additionally, I know this technique has been used in multiple different sets and is kind of getting overused nowadays, but these beautiful gold elements are being connected sideways, and it works really nicely here. Since again, this is supposed to be some giant lavish palace, and I actually like this technique being used here. Above the armory is a little room, nothing too big for the turtle minister to just sit down and be able to write his documents or something. To be entirely honest, I don't really know what this is. Now, the room on the right is a little bedroom, but there is just way too many stickers here. Like, all of the rest of the rooms have a lot of stickers, don't get me wrong, but this is just an insane amount for the amount of space there is. Other than that, though, the interior is pretty much done. Overall, this is a phenomenal set, and it looks absolutely beautiful, and is easily my favorite location-based set I have seen. The designers definitely outdone themselves. Every stud is covered with a beautiful amount of detail, and it really pops out when compared to all of the other sets. However, now that we have finished up reviewing the set, let's go ahead and look at the minifigures. But before I do, I have to ask you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel, as my goal was an ambitious 500 subscribers by the end of the year, but now my new goal is just 30 subscribers. I would highly appreciate it if you do subscribe, but let's go back into the video. There are 7 minifigures in the set: Monkey Kid, Monkey King, Owlier, 2 Shrimp Soldiers, 2 Crab Generals, and 1 Turtle Minister. I'm going to start off with the Turtle Minister. Honestly, I really have a strong dislike for the minifigure. The face feels very off from what it was in the show, but I actually do like how the hat is built, since it's actually pretty accurate to the show, and it's pretty unique. It doesn't require any new pieces that and can use those elements that would have to be made and instead put into new pieces, like the shell on the back, which is actually a pretty cool piece that is literally attached by a neck bracket, which is pretty impractical piece and will definitely not be used on literally any other scenarios, but it works perfectly fine here. Additionally, it also comes with a really cool chest piece that I actually like how it looks a lot. It really matches with the overall color scheme of this set, since, well, it's blue, just like the actual main palace. Although I am kind of bummed that there's no arm printing, this is actually a pretty good minifigure, so no real complaints about it anyways. Overall, I really don't like the face print, but other than that, it's a pretty well-rounded minifigure overall. The next minifigure is the 2 Shrimp Soldiers. They are both completely identical, so I'm only going to show one. I really like this minifigure. Like, this is easily one of the best minifigures in this lineup. The head is fully rubberized, which is just insane to me, since this is a really high-quality mold, and it looks way better than I would have expected. The entire head feels so premium and is super specialized, and will most definitely not be used in any set ever again. I really like the nostrils, at least that's what I think it is, and they feel so cool compared to the other minifigures. Moving on, it comes with these really nice torsos that show them absolutely jacked, wearing a gold armor, which makes sense. This is the Dragon Palace of the EC. These guys have more than enough money to buy gold armor. And you can even see some of the seaweed growing on the armor, which makes sense, as it's supposed to be an underwater base. Other than that, though, this minifigure doesn't come with any arm printing or even leg printing, but I'm not particularly complaining since it did come with a really cool head. This is actually a pretty good minifigure, and I wish LEGO would do more stuff like this, since it looks really cool, and while it probably costs a lot more to do than just making normal head, it makes the set feel way more premium and valuable as compared to other location-based sets such as the Celestial Brigada, who may not have as such a good, well-designed, specialized head mold. Moving on, the next minifigure is the Crab General, which also comes with a fully rubberized head mold, but its shaping is nowhere near as cool as the one from the Shrimp General had. But it doesn't have an actual solid amount of printing instead, which I guess makes up for it, but personally, I like the Shrimp General specialized head mold quite a bit more. This minifigure also comes with the same exact torso, which is fine. It works perfectly well for both this minifigure and the Shrimp Soldier, so no real complaints. Other than that though, there isn't too much to say about this minifigure since it comes with mid-legs, which I don't believe had gone in printing ever since 2023. But this minifigure does look pretty cool, so props to the minifig designers for the set. But the next minifigure is Aolier, the ruler of the Dragon Palace of the EC. This is easily my favorite minifigure in this entire set, and probably one of my favorite Monkie Kid minifigures ever, which is saying a lot since there are some really good minifigures. He comes with like the coolest hair ever, and it's just the most unique minifigure hair I've ever seen. It's dual molded as well, since it has his gold horns / crown. It could be either one, I have no idea. And there is just a lot of detail put into it. It's extremely similar in style to Mr. Oz from Dreams, his hair, but this was made before that and is the OG one. It really feels like there are layers on layers of hair, and that are all specially designed to look like this. Also, pink is such a cool color for hair, and it really works perfectly for this minifigure. Moving on from the hair, he does come with a kind of boring face print, but it is double-sided and does show off two kind of similar prints, since one is just super nonchalant and the other one is angry since Monkie King lost the staff he stole from them and accidentally gave it to the Lady Bone Demon. But with such a beautiful palette, instead of having a neutral face, they could have done some happy smile or really anything else, and it would be so much better like this, which feels kind of too serious for a set as cheery and paradisal as this. He does actually have an exclusive cape though, which this cape style in general has been used in only Monkie Kid sets, a random Star Wars set, and in dark purple for the Marvel Series 2 CMFs. This is currently the only set currently to have this cape, which doesn't make a lot of sense since I feel like so many other minifigures could use this style of cape. Like 4 can use it in red, but nope, it stayed relatively exclusive, which is kind of sad. While his torsos and leggings aren't anything too particularly special, they look really cool and give off these serious ruler kind of vibes. But I wish he was wearing something even more lavish or more gold-like, since he's the ruler of this beautiful city and is super rich. But it's fine, it's not a big complaint. Other than that though, I have no other thoughts about him, so let's go on to the next minifigure, which is none other than the Monkie Kid. You remember when I said that the Turtle minifigure is the worst minifigure? Well, I take it back. This one is arguably the worst one. They took an already pre-existing minifigure and literally just slapped on some flippers and a mouthpiece and called it good. Like, this is a Monkie Kid set, so there should be definitely something else new and unique incorporated into the set, instead of just grabbing whatever this minifigure is and putting on a couple random mini pieces as an afterthought. Since I don't want to taint my look on this minifigure even more, I'm just going to go on to the final minifigure, which is the legendary Monkie King. Now this is what a minifigure should be. It comes with a single new element, which I'm perfectly fine with, which isn't exclusive since it came in the 5th anniversary GWP, but the rest of the pieces are reused and recycled, which isn't bad in this case, because it actually looks good. I especially like the design of this torso, which is very, very similar to the one used for the other sets for Season 3 a lot, but the tie is black and it has a red undershirt. Since this minifigure isn't anything too particularly unique, let's go on to the pricing and my final thoughts. So, as I said at the start of this video, this set comes with 8 minifigures, 2,364 pieces, for a retail price of $190 USD, which is honestly a pretty fair price, bordering on expensive, mostly because there's a lot of detail, which means that there's a lot of small pieces, which is part of the reason that the parts per piece ratio is a little bit high. However, I do have to rate this set a 10 out of 10 because of all of the beautiful details put into the set and the great minifigures. That's all for this week's video. Don't forget to subscribe and goodbye.